Today we are going to be looking at the new Sonic the Hedgehog Jakks Specific Mighty action figure, released recently by Jakks Specific, and is available exclusively at Target stores for $10 in the United States. Out of all of the people who made videos on these on YouTube, I'm probably one of the people who is having the hardest to find these figures. Because for some reason, every time I go to Target, I barely see Mighty or Supersonic. And I'm just so lucky that I'm able to get Mighty. I still need to look for Supersonic though, but at least I'm able to review Mighty. And so yeah, the other figures in that set are re-releases of Sonic and Eggman. I already seen those characters in stores before, so Mighty is completely new to me. And hopefully I'm able to get Supersonic eventually, because I'll definitely do a review on it. Even if my Jakks Specific Sonic videos don't get as much views as I want them to. But anyways, here's the description. It says, Mighty is a powerful armadillo and a great friend to Knuckles and Ray. Just like his name implies, he's remarkably strong. So, let's open this figure up and have a closer look at it. For his accessory, he comes with the TV monitor that has the item inside. It is 10 rings, and they are from the classic Sonic era games. And it actually does have articulation. It can actually, the base can actually move a little. And I think that scaling, I don't think they were that small in the classic games. So these are, so this accessory definitely would work better with the small 2.5-inch figures. But move to the side. Now, the only problem, and this is actually the only problem I have, unfortunately, Mighty, and that probably goes for the other classic Sonic figures in general, I think they're going to be around the same height as the modern figures. Like, I don't have the Sonic to compare right now, but I do have the Mario action figure that's around the same height, and you can definitely tell that the classic figures are supposed to be shorter than the modern characters. But it's not really a huge issue because the next wave of 2.5-inch figures will have classic Sonic in it, meaning that those figures probably might scale better with the 4-inch modern characters. But if you have any of the 5-inch Jazzware Sonic figures, like the classic Sonic who is around the same height as Mighty, then you can actually scale them together. So now let's take a look at the figure itself, and his sculpt is very amazing. I'd say he's probably my favorite figure from the third wave. He looks exactly like how he should in these classic Sonic games. Mighty the Armadillo first appeared in a mostly Japan exclusive arcade game called Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, and you used a trackball to play with it. It saw a very limited release in North America because they tested out in a few arcades and they weren't that successful, so they didn't. And besides, they didn't even completely localize the game because it's still in Japanese. But I was able to play the game at a arcade place called, well, Annie fell. I went to this arcade place called Galloping Ghost Arcade. I'd say it's probably the best arcade place in the United States that you can go to. It also has Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, but it also has some other obscure arcade games like Punch-Out and Super Punch-Out, Sonic the Fighters, Pac-Land, and they even have a prototype cabinet for a canceled Beavis and Butthead arcade game. So yeah, so if there's any arcade places I recommend going to, Galloping Ghost Arcade is definitely one you should check out if you live in the Midwest. Anyways, so I actually do have some more problems with this figure, rather than just the scaling. And that's just because he's actually pretty top-heavy, which, I mean, no crap because of the shell, but still, it's kind of disappointing that he's a little bit top-heavy. It probably might not help it because his legs are a little loose. I kind of hope Jakks Specific kind of fixes up the legs, you know, to make them less loose. Unless if it's just a figure that you have that's very loose. Also, not to mention, his nose is very long, which is a good thing and accurate, but the nose is, like, very flimsy. Not very flimsy, but, like, just be careful when you're playing with Mighty, because There's a chance that his nose might break. And we also got his Shrek ears. Those ones are like, I thought it was going to be like a very soft plastic, but no, this is actually, the plastic on it's a lot harder. So yeah, so that is Mighty the Armadillo. Now let's go over his articulation. His head actually rotates. He has universal pin disc shoulder joints that go up and down and forwards and backwards. Rotating wrists that are ball jointed. We got the universal hip joints in the hips. They don't go all the way, unfortunately. His knees bend down, and they're hard to bend down on my figure. And yeah, so they bend down and they can move sideways, and the ankles are ball jointed. So for being the first ever action figure of Mighty the Armadillo, I think that's a pretty decent one, to be honest. I mean, I kind of hope they make a 2.5-inch Mighty, to scale with the modern characters. But overall, I really like this figure. My only problems with the figure is that I think they could have made the nose a much harder plastic, and fix up those loose legs, Jacksy. And also, not to mention that he doesn't scale well with the modern figures, but he does scale with other figures, even some non-Jakks specific ones. So if you want to get out your 5-inch classic Sonic Jazzburst figure, which is actually 4 inches, not 5 inches, then yeah, I mean, that would be a really great scale. Though Jakks Pacific is going to make a classic Sonic figure in that scale in Wave 4 alongside Super Shadow. So, but anyways, I definitely think Mighty is overall a pretty solid figure. It's definitely my favorite figure from the third wave, and I would grade Mighty a B+. So, thank you for watching this video, and tune in to some more Jakks Pacific Sonic reviews as we review Super Sonic in the future.